Hello, konnichiwa, hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. Are we talking about owls already? My goodness. Hello everyone. My name is Leo. I'm your resident demi vampire singer and professional simp. And today we're yapping for who knows how long. Oh no, the chat is filled with owls now. Dang it. Oh man. I'm like hold on, I need to get myself together. I was reading and now I am broken. Owl House, yes. Hello, Milky Way. Glad to see you here. Hold on. I'm trying to get my... I cannot believe. I was like so excited about today, and I decided, you know what? Before the stream starts, I'm gonna Just owl model when? Never. Owls are cute, but I would never. It's so funny to me that I was so excited about today, and then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna read a fan fiction. One of the fan fictions I have on my tabs, on my 20+ tabs open. That I said I was gonna read and I haven't, and it turned out to be so sad, so heavy that I cried. And then I had to like leave it there and be like, all right, time to stream. So, yep, that's where I'm at mentally right now. Hold on. Let me just close the door because it's not closed. Oh, hello there. Here? No? You better not come back in. I just closed the door. Yeah, keep the tags to yourself. You don't need to divulge that. I've already exposed myself in the Hold on. That caught me so off guard. Shut up. I'm back. I already exposed myself in that what was it? The thing I did with Hannah. The the trope tier list, the fanfiction trope tier list. The one I read today had nothing to do with those tags anyway, but I already exposed myself in that stream. You don't need to know what tags were there in that screenshot I share on the Discord server. No, it caught me off guard that you mentioned it right now. Like, it did catch me off guard as well on the server because I didn't realize. Otherwise, I wouldn't have shared that like the way it was. That's why I deleted it and then cropped it. But you had already seen it, but it's whatever, it's you. But you don't need to divulge that. When I opened the picture again, when I posted it, I was like, wait a minute, oh no. Oh my god. Just don't react. Forget you saw it. Confused, you weren't there. How do you remember that? Have I ever played Terraria? No. Isn't that multiplayer? Because if so, we have a problem. We need another person that has Terraria. Hello, Inky. Welcome, welcome. Oh my god. Don't remind me of that. I was like, oh geez, they don't need to see that. Oh yeah, you read what happened, but you didn't see it. Okay, that's good. You don't need to see that. You truly don't need to see that. If you really want to know what kind of fanfiction I read, then go watch the fanfiction trope tier list stream. You'll understand. Yeah, you already knew. So like it's that's why I'm like, it's fine-ish. But it's one thing to know about the tropes, and it's another thing to read the tags, because sometimes the tags get too explicit into what kind of things I'm reading. And that's when I'm going, well, hold on. Hold on. You guys don't need to see that. You already know like what kind of things I read, but not in specifically. You had this background all the time. This background got released with my 2.0 when I did my 2.0 review. So it's been here for a couple of months at least. Since April. Which is why I've never changed the calendar. I ended up never doing that. So it's always April in my heart, I guess. Are the tags important for the lore? In the fanfictions? No. What I read in my off time is not important to my character lore. Don't worry about that. Like that has nothing to do with it. Man. I'm like oh my god. I'm like still processing that you just dropped that. Seems suspicious. She must be trying to trick us. No, like I'm being completely serious when I tell you that what I read on my off time has nothing to do with my lore. How would yaoi relate to my lore? Tell me. Tell me. I want to know how you think yaoi would relate to my lore as a character. You guys already know that I read BL. Come on. To mod FIFA. You always mod FIFA, don't you? I never play that. But that again, I never liked football, so. Yeah, this is our server. You can find it on the description of this stream or on my about section in the channel if you want to join. I don't think you want me to answer that. How do you think it relates to my lore? Look at my look at the lore that I put out and tell me where do you why how. I'm very curious now, Khan. How the heck does that relate to my lore? I'm like slightly offended that y'all think that would relate to it. In another language while Leo's talking. Oh man. My throat hurts, by the way. I completely forgot what I was gonna talk about this stream. Like I'm just now flabbergasted, and now I'm like I don't know, confused at first, and I was just continuing the question. Man. Anyway, moving on from that. What I read is none of your business. What was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah. So this stream was made because we kept getting sidetracked on while playing Lake of Voices, because we will be suddenly bring up things like FNAF, because horror games. So it was related-ish to the stream, but at the same time it wasn't. So we kept derailing on things like FNAF and which other game was it? Oh, I said I wanted to talk about Sonic, but Tyler is not here, so I can't talk about Sonic. Or maybe I can. Depends. If you guys want to hear about Sonic, I guess. And then you also said something in the... What you read will be written down. Trust me when I tell you that you don't want to know. It's nothing crazy, but still you don't want to know. like I would tell you exactly why what I read this morning or earlier today, I guess. It's still morning, but it made me cry, but again, heavy subjects. Did somebody say Sonic? Oh, is there another Sonic fan amongst us? You don't want to know. I'm cursed with knowledge. And even then, you didn't see the others. Like I was hold on, let me see if I still have the picture. Confused, you're still a baby. You don't know what you're talking about. Trust me. Trust me. We're old and jaded from the internet. You don't want to know. Let me see if I still have the screenshot, like the OG that I shared. Hold on. Nope, I deleted it, I think. Hold on. Deleted files. Oh wow, there's a lot of deleted files. I'm never gonna find it. OG. Oh no. Hold on. No, there's. Why did I delete all of this? I'm realizing that I deleted my entire Wicked folder. Where is it? When did I send this? I already forgot. Oh, here it is. I choked. Nope, yeah, you saw some things. Funnily enough, it's just one. It's just one where you can see the tags. Oh my. My. Oh no. You did see some things. Like, I mean, again, you only saw one, but you did see some things. No, you don't have it. It's fine. Oh my god. Man. What do you mean, what did I do? Nothing. Like, I was drinking water while looking for it and then I just choked. Oh man. We live in a society. Anyway, that has absolutely nothing to do with my lore. Moving on. Oh man. I guess Confused disappeared. Because he's been very quiet. That was not what I was intending to talk about today. My goodness. I don't know what to say anymore. Nice! Yatta! Another soul! More kneecaps for my collection! Let's go! I mean, what? I don't know what happened there. Anyway. No, Enki, don't go! Please don't go. Please don't go. Anyway, how do we segue into whatever else I wanted to say? So yeah, we made this stream because we kept getting derailed on Lake of Voices. So funnily enough, now I don't know how to start talking about the other things we're supposed to talk about, like confused. How have you, especially since your age, how have you been able to keep away from FNAF? That is a true question. Are we trying to imitate Hootie here? Because I can right now. My voice is not up there, I think. No. Also, I don't know why I woke up and my throat hurts a little bit, like it's, but I don't know why. Cause it's not cold. I haven't like done anything to get like sick recently, so other than stress, but that's just the normal at this point. But I don't know. I kept away from that. What? How? I didn't like it. I know it exists and just never bother with it. Well, do I have the story for you? I used to not like it either. And yet here I am. Yeah, how did you keep away from it until 2020? I don't get it. It's been everywhere for the past how many years? Like FNAF itself is like 10 years old this year, but it's not been like, it was popular when it started, but it wasn't everywhere until like 2 years later maybe, so it's been like everywhere for 8 years. I just read books instead. I also read books. Maybe you should read the FNAF books. Well, not as often anymore, but I have an entire bookshelf with the books that I like, that I've read and that I haven't read yet, but still I ended up falling into the rabbit hole that is FNAF. And apparently, I don't know if it's true yet or not, because it was just speculation, I think. But apparently they're releasing a race game, which I don't know at this point. I don't know what to think about at this point. I've never seen a single video of gameplay of that game. Really? Do you not follow Markiplier then? Or anyone on the same verge? I've never seen this. I saw my cousin play the 4th game, got interested and looked it up and saw a fan animation. I avoided it after. What did you see? To be honest, even though I am like kind of into it because I'm not fully into the fandom, I've never really interacted with fan content when it comes to FNAF. I only stay within like what is considered canon, I guess. Like what is actual official things. It's not like I've never played any of the games, well, except for Ultimate Custom Night, but that was more like an attempt rather than me actually playing it because it was so laggy when I tried that. But I've never really played any of the games, nor have I read any of the books, really. Like, I don't consume the actual product, it's more like I consume the story through other media, I guess. 5 laps at Freddy's. No. I like a fan animation or a fan animation. Oh, shipping. Oh yeah, no, that's a territory that I do not touch in this franchise. Nope. If Rule 34 has taught me anything, nope. No, I do not follow Markiplier or watch Game Theory. I know they exist. I think I watched one Game Theory video, but that's about it. Okay, about Game Theory, I did know because you told us before in the server, but I mean, it's not like everyone watches Markiplier. I know that, but it's kind of odd to me, I guess. even though I didn't watch it from the beginning. I only started watching him, I think, because of NAF. I think with NAF 4 release, it was his playthrough that I ended up watching for some reason. Somehow it appeared on my timeline. And also Yandere Simulator, but we don't talk about that. And that's how he got into my radar, and then I started watching some of his playthroughs after that, and I've just been following him since. I don't watch every video. I like the things that he's doing now, like how he did In Space with Markiplier and all those other projects, and now he's making his own movie and all of that. That's what I mostly follow about him nowadays, because I'm also just not that into horror games. So, hello Owens, welcome. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Rule 34 telling me to poke my eyes out and hide it in the corner. Yeah, exactly. I got into it after Help Wanted, and as soon as I joined the fan base, the series proceeded to crash and burn before my eyes. I mean, you did get into a pretty late phase where everything started to, like, it's not... Funnily enough, everything makes more sense now, and at the same time it doesn't, because it's become so convoluted and nothing is neither confirmed or denied in its entirety that it's really hard. Like, if you haven't been here for a while, then it's really hard to get into, like, the lore aspect after Help Wanted. Welcome back, Mikley. So I understand. But you did get into it a little bit late on the... Not late as in, like, oh, it doesn't matter, or that's not how it should have been, but more late as in, like, it starts to get way messier than it already was. Security Breach was so horrible. None of the games make any sense. I only keep up with it to see how insane this gets. Security Breach... Hello, Alice. Welcome. I'm glad to see that you're here again. Woo! More souls! Yay! More kneecaps to collect. Yay! Anyway, how do I get about Security Breach? Like, it was such a different feeling from the rest of the franchise that I think that's also why, like, one of the big factors why it just didn't quite land when it first released. As time has gone by, where do I post the silly doodles? Oh, there is a channel on the server. Let me look it up real quick, because I forget the names of my own channels on the server. There's a section called media, and there's one channel called art. You can post them there if you want, whenever you want. So yeah, there's the space for it. Hold on, now let me oh no, what happened to my chat? Hold on. There we go. Back to normal, I think. Yeah, back to normal. It's just that I have very mixed feelings towards Security Breach. That's why I don't know how, like, to talk about it, because it's not, like, lore wise, it was so vague when it came out that you really had to look into it in order to, like, start to pick apart what might matter and what doesn't. The DLC Ruin makes a better execution on solving why some of the things that happen in Security Breach happen, or, like, their meaning. but it's because it's like kind of a reboot, a soft reboot of the story. A lot of things are still like unanswered, and it was, I guess, in a way thought of, or I don't know if it was marketed that way because I don't follow the market campaigns for those, but it was, at least by the fandom, everyone expected it to be a continuation of what Help Wanted established, which is Help Wanted is this middle point between the old story and the new one. So it was like expected, I feel like, to build up on that, like directly, but it didn't. It just started something new that was vaguely related to what happened in Help Wanted, but not quite, and that's why it left more questions than answers, if any answers, really. And it just didn't quite land. Oh yeah, Glitchtrap is dead, I forgot. He had a symbolic death. The problem is, I don't know. I understand what Scott is trying to do in the sense of like trying to clear up things that were left or that weren't properly conveyed in the original story way back when, and trying to like get it better in this like new era, this new story-ish. But I don't know exactly what his end goal is with the story. Like, where is this leading us? I have no idea. I think that's also mainly the main problem, that there just seems to be no end, and I think he doesn't know it either. And it's very interesting to see how things develop, and eventually he makes things like connect. But there's a lot of things that are just not properly explained, or that really don't have a concrete reason as to why they happen, and that's why. Especially since he introduced the books. I know that the books are like a parallel universe and all of that, but at this point we've all seen that they are more related to the games than originally intended. And that it's not like a one-by-one copy, but that a lot of the elements that are presented at first eventually make it to the games in way more like less explained, because you don't have the context of the books if you only play the games, and that's a problem. So yeah, hold on, let me catch up with chat now. Like, I like the kind of game. The story makes no sense. It's so buggy and half-finished, and anything interesting they cut from the game, but somehow did old man after made it in. Yeah, like, I also don't know, like, why rush shit? Like, this will take me back to Sonic. This is my segue back into Sonic, but not really, because I need to finish this train of thought before I lose it. I don't understand why people rush games. Like, I do know why, but also it's just to their detriment in the long run, and I just don't get why they don't understand that if it's rushed, it's just not gonna. But anyway, that game had been expected for a while, and that it had been pushed back so many times that they were like, okay, this is the chance, and then it was very, very buggy, very, like, it just, no. And the segue to the like ending where you stay in the like oh, my phone fell. Hold on, give me a moment. I know. There we go. Double wanted to be let out, and I knocked off my phone in the process. Chad, what are you? There we go. Whoop. Also glitch trap is yeah. It's like listening to people talking about specifics of neuroscience, no clue what is going on. To answer your question real quick, Owens. On Mori so far, I would rate it from 1 to 10. Probably like around a 7. I'm really enjoying it. I just don't know where the plot is going yet. But I am enjoying it a lot so far. Hold on. Why are you like this? He wanted to be let out, and now he's bitching and moaning about being wanting to be let in again, and making a fuss about it. And now he's looking at me because he knows I'm talking about him. Alright. I am done with this. There we go. Ya había hablado de este tema, no lo voy a volver a tocar. Anyway. Where the point you are shouldn't really, you'll probably learn more about the Omori lore in a few more streams. Okay, okay. Yeah, Dogo's here. Sorry about that, guys. It's just I had already given warnings. I had already talked about it with the person, and they don't understand it. I let it slide yesterday, but I'm not letting it slide anymore. So yeah. Moving on from that, what was I saying about Security Rich? Oh yeah, so I'm very frustrated about that. I lost my train of thought. Hold on. I was talking about how, now that the story doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I remember now. It was about how there's not proper segues into, or like middle points, I guess. Yeah, it was rushed, definitely, and you could tell. I saw in an interview recently that apparently they've left, as time has passed, they've left some of the bugs in because that's how people were able to find things that originally people couldn't find in the game, like that are relevant. But other than that, it was indeed very rushed. And it's like they didn't properly finish the script beforehand, and they were like, okay, let's put the main points here and there, and then boom, story. What I've heard that the main person, like the person in charge from Stillwell Studios, has said about why it's less scary why is it not scary really compared to the rest of the franchise, is because apparently Help Wanted was too scary for some people. And I think I've talked about this before. Apparently Help Wanted was too scary for some people because, you know, BR, and they couldn't handle it, and so they were like, you know, it should be fun, not just like purely terrifying, so we're gonna turn it down a notch and then make it scary on the sequel, which is the one that will or the DLC, which is the one that will connect the dots story-wise in most places, which it kind of did. It was definitely way more scary than the original, and also because they wanted to show what the Pizzaplex looked like when it was still active, not just like afterwards. But they definitely failed at like again, it probably is because it was really rushed. It definitely failed at properly like connecting the dots in the story, because Freddy doesn't know anything about anything really, or at least he doesn't seem to, until you reach 6 a.m. in the Pizzaplex, and then he's like, all right, you have 3 choices. You either leave, you either stay, or we fight against this being that I wasn't aware of until this very moment, because he's not supposed to see Vanessa or Vanny. He's not supposed to be able to see Vanny, but he does. But at the very end, he suddenly knows who Vanny is. So that's the kind of thing that it's like, you know. So I get why you say like it doesn't make any sense. Like, I can see what was intended, but it wasn't properly executed because, again, they probably rushed everything. So yeah. Which gets me back into Sonic. Do any of you know about Sonic 06? From what I heard, the game got completely reworked a few months before release, so some sections were changed but others couldn't. That's why it's all over the place. They didn't have time to rework it. It makes sense, but the true question is why? Because if they had to rework it at the end, then push back the date, fans were upset already, sure, but look at what happened. You know? I have also not played any Sonic games. Oh my god. Like, I understand that the more time something is in development, the more money it costs. But then don't change it. Like, the whole thing. If you need to correct some parts, then yeah, sure, there are areas that can, like what they did, they needed to change areas. But the entire thing? Any ideas for things to draw? Do you know Blaze the Cat from the Sonic games? I've never finished a Sonic game. I've only finished one, I think. But nope. Okay. I don't know. It just blanked out. I told you Queen from Undertale yesterday, right? Marathon. There we go. Marathon from Undertale. I'm not a fake fan of Sonic. I'm also just not like the biggest fan either. I'm just someone who was very into it at a certain point in life, and then completely forgot about it, and then got back into it a couple of years ago when Sonic Frontiers released. That just reminded me of a very sad time. Anyway, the point is that Sonic 06, or it's known in the fandom as Sonic 06, but the name of the game is Sonic the Hedgehog. Plainly, it was a game. I don't know if you guys have heard of what happened to that. That was supposed to be like the super special game for the, I think it was the 15th anniversary, something like that. Some important anniversary. I don't remember exactly which one. And back then the Sonic had a phase where they were trying new things. They were basically throwing things at the wall to see what worked, to give it like more story heavy, like to give it like more plot rather than just Sonic running around, like in the OG games, the sprite ones, the 8-bit ones, not sprite. My brain is so rotted by RPGs that I say yeah, sprites, which they technically are, but you know what I mean. Yeah, like to give it like more story and stuff. And so I don't remember which one was the game that came out before that. Was it Shadow the Hedgehog? Which is also another can of worms. My god. I think it was Shadow the Hedgehog, the one that released earlier-ish. Before Sonic 06. The point is that in the media's eyes, Sonic had already been on a downfall for a while. I think the 3D game that got a good like reception generally was Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And then after that they started having very hit or miss releases. They tried to make... They made a really good plot. I really liked the idea of the game. It introduces you to new characters. One of them is my favorite, like Blaze the Cat, which is basically like female Sonic from another universe. She's introduced in the DS games as well. Sonic Rush, I think it's called. I think Tyler owns that. I need a copy of that. Anyway, and so... the story was that is what introduces like the whole chaos, the chaos control meme, if you've ever seen it. But it's a very world-ending plot, to sum it up. And there's a princess involved, a human princess, that befriends Sonic in the beginning. And it lets you play with like every character in the game, basically, except Dr. Eggman, I think. Also, I think that's one of Dr. Eggman's best like portrayals, in my opinion. Even though the art style looks a little bit like funny on him, but you know. But the point is that that game was also like, it could have been the greatest Sonic game of all time in a way. But it released so broken. Like, if you think Security Breach was bad, that one was worse. To this day, if you have like an original copy, it is not unplayable, but it is very hard to play, because also the loading screens take forever. Everything breaks. It was very bad because it was extremely rushed. Because they wanted to have it like by a specific date, because it was the anniversary project, of course, but they didn't properly like prepare, I guess, and it released like, so it was terrible, and it has become like it's kind of like the black sheep of the franchise. And after that, they started to experiment less and less with the games until we've just been following like a very specific formula ever since. Yeah. Bunk them, because what they got out of that was like, oh, like trying new things doesn't work, so let's just stick to the formula. And they've only, with the most recent Sonic game, which is Sonic Frontiers, well, the one that released like 2 years ago, it seems like they kind of maybe are trying to experiment a little bit more again, but very slightly. And it pains me to see that what they got out of that was not that, oh, maybe we shouldn't rush production, maybe we should properly, you know, prepare, like not overwork people, and properly, you know, prepare for these kinds of projects, not try to like massive release. I don't know what they were trying to do, but the problem is that that rush ended up tainting the brand for a very long time. And after that, when their experimentation era was like the fairy tale Sonic games, which were like well, Unleashed wasn't really a fairy tale, but it's werewolf Sonic, and it has very decent gameplay and also a decent story. Except on the Wii. On the Wii, I could never finish it. Sonic and the Black Knight is my personal favorite, aside from Sonic 06, because the story is very compelling to me, and I really liked the gameplay when I played it. And there was one about the 7 rings, which is basically like the 7. It had something with genies. I never played that one, but I was also interested in that one when I was younger. And then after that, they stopped doing those kinds of games because I think they weren't very popular. People didn't really seem to like it a lot. And then they started to just stick to the formula of like, oh, you play a Sonic. Sonic has not a lot of plot. And Dr. Eggman is funny, but you run fast. I don't know. Like, it started losing plot. Not like it need like every franchise need to have plot, but the game does in order to be like engaging in some way or another, for me at least. And then they just stopped doing that, and I zoned out. There was a point where I knew all the lore of Sonic 06. Oh, Iblis, the god, and Mephiles, and all of that, and I was very much into Shadow and his character arc, and Blaze. It was a really good story, but man, if only. Anyway, so it's like COD Cold War. Interesting story that innovated but was glitchy, so failed, and what they took away was, oh, people don't want the new stuff. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. It was so broken on release, and all they took from it was like, oh, they don't like innovation. That's fine then. We'll stick to what we know how to do. And I think that also stopped. No, not really, because after all of that, we also had Sonic Colors, and what was the name of that one? 3D World, which wasn't very good either. It was basically like a Mario Galaxy ripoff, but with Sonic, but apparently not as good. Again, like at that point, after Sonic and the Black Knight, I just tuned off from Sonic for a little bit until I got my Switch and I saw Sonic Forces on sale, and it included like the Shadow DLC, and I was like, ooh. And I was interested in it because you can customize your own character, and I like self-inserting in stories. So I'm one of Sonic's friends now. It is canon. Anyway, so that was the one that I tuned back into, and I remember that I liked it, but I didn't quite get the story, and that was that. And then Sonic Frontiers released, and I wasn't able to get it, but I did watch playthroughs and I researched the story, and it took me back to that Sonic 06 era, but not quite. The one that really got me or made me be like, go like, oh, I really want this back, was surprisingly the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Because it includes like the whole, it gets the whole cast back. Well, not the whole cast, there's some people missing there, but I guess it gets I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it's the same vibes of like, oh, there's a lot of characters and they're all important in this universe, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but it took me back, and I was like, I want these kinds of games back again. These are what made like Sonic fun, even though I've never been good at them, like because I'm not good with fast-paced games. But I always loved playing them because of the story of what they were trying to do and the characters. Because through the story you get to know the characters. So by taking that element or like diminishing it, kind of is just another game to turn off my brain to. I don't know. But anyway. Man, now I'm sad. Now I'm sad. Gosh darn it. Confused. Bring another topic. Quick. Or Con, whoever. I don't want to feel sad. I was already sad before the stream. Because of the fanfiction I read. I am angry if it makes you feel better. What's my favorite food? Pasta. In general. Noodles. In general. Yum yum. I can. Oh. 4-cheese pasta. Yum. What is Toho? What is that? What is this Toho you speak of? Toho. Toho? Tell me about it. Bullet hell game with fun music. I'd never heard about it. No idea. What kind of games? Like, growing up, I played... Shut up, Con. Growing up, I played more like Mario games. I think. We all saw that. I think even the chart on the screen registered. So. Anyway. I listen to music a lot and I have finally found a game I can actually play. Toho? Growing up, I played more like platformer-ish games. And by that I mean mostly Mario games. I played Contra. I still have it somewhere. But I haven't touched that in a while. I mostly played like online games, but not MMORPGs. More like game websites, like games.com and gamesforgirls.com and games.ws and all of those. That's what I played them mostly growing up, I think. It's bullet hell, so basically dodge everything. Look it up, it's fun. So it requires reflexes. My weakness. I played Minecraft and that's it. I never got into Minecraft actually. That is the side of the internet I never got on. That and the Super Hulock fandom. I was only a Sherlock fandom, but that's a whole other story. Oh, you're all Minecraft kids. That's not a bad thing, it's just that it makes me feel very old. That's not a bad thing, I think Minecraft is great, I just lack the creativity for it, but it just makes me feel very old. Oh man. So it's a bit like Sans Fight. Ooh. I mean, you are oldish now. truthfully, there's not that big of an age gap between us, so yeah, you are old in my books now. Ooh, interesting. I haven't given up on Sans, by the way. I'm just tired of him. Like, I do want to beat him, but right now I'm just not in the... I don't have the brain space nor capacity to like actually try it again. That's why I haven't touched it. But yeah. But I haven't given up on him. Here's the thing, growing up, for the longest time I didn't have like any console, so, and I've never played like properly games on PC until I started streaming, really. Like, again, if I played games on my computer or my laptop, it would be like those types of games that you find in the game pages that now are filled with very weird games, and I don't understand why that is, but I played things like there's this one I played like Clue games, like not Clue like the table, is it called tabletop games? But not like that one. Board games is the one that I'm looking for. Not like the board game, but more like spot the difference, solve the mystery by finding the differences and all of that. I played Bombit, which is basically like a strategy multiplayer game. Rush It, which was a roller coaster-ish game, very weird one, but it was fun. Dress up games, I played a lot. Decoration as well. I painted everything pink because back then my favorite color was pink. Ooh, I had a neighbor that would always come by to play, so we would play Bombit together. We also played, what was it called? Fireboy and Water Girl, something like that. And there are like 5 games of those, apparently. We never finished any of them, but because the thing would always reset whenever we jump back into it, so yeah, we always had to start from scratch. But I played a lot of those as well. Wait, but before you were calling me a child, from 19 to 20 changed that much? See, when you're in your 20s, you're already an adult in my head. Like, you're still a baby-ish adult. But 20s, it's another level. So, like, you're younger than me, but you're not quite a baby anymore either. Does that make sense? It's like, oh yeah, you still have a lot to learn, but at the same time, you're on the old age as me. Welcome. I played Minecraft, but then again, to be honest, when I was 19, I never really felt it. I just in my head, I just jumped straight from 18 to 20, so that could also be it. Hello Zia, welcome. Kirby Burger, what is that? Is that a thing? I also never played Kirby games, ever. Now that I remember. Nor any Pokemon either. I just watched the anime when I was younger and then I stopped. I played Minecraft because that was the only game I was allowed to have for a long time, and it took a while before I was even allowed to get any internet things. Yeah, no, I was giving internet access very early on in my life. Not fully. I was only able to like go and play in those pages, and that was pretty much it. But also, it's like one of my aunts always like gets bewildered because now her children play games and she doesn't know anything about it, and so she always asks me for help and is like, hey, can you help them? I don't know how to do this, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it, even though I don't like getting closer to children. But and then she's always like, how did you get into this, like into gaming, right? And I was like, ma'am, I've been playing since I was like 4. Maybe not on consoles, but I've been playing games since I was like 4. It's not what is surprising about that? Because my parents would buy at either Office Depot or Office Max, one of those. They would sell these little CDs that had games, like educational games in them, and they would buy me those, and that's how I started playing on the way old machine that I had back then, that I think had like Windows 97 or something like that, an old Windows. How do I deal with sore throat? Do you have tea? If you don't have honey, do you have tea or lemon? All Flash games are goated? Yeah, exactly. Cool math games. I remember playing those during computer lab. Oh, yeah. I was a Wii baby, that's how I grew up. Well, Wii and DS. Same-ish. Like, I got them when I was a little bit older, but yeah. Really cold tea in my fridge for some reason. Okay, if it's just a sore throat that because of use, like if you're not feeling ill, that could help your throat to like not like how do you say it when you're like trying to get the swell down, like to swallow it down, I guess. I don't know, but if you're not feeling ill, that can help because cold things can help like diminish the soreness, because that's usually that your throat is a little bit swollen, and that's why. But if you are feeling like it's like a kind of illness related soreness, then avoid the cold one because that could make it worse. Heat it up if you can, or if not, you can also just put squeeze lemon into a glass of water and drink it, and it's gonna be very bitter, but it's gonna help. What do you mean? I would have cold tea in my fridge all the time if I could. Oh. I hope you're better, Enki. No, don't eat the skin. That's a little too extreme. Because cold tea is good. What do you mean? Iced tea. You know? +1. Kids today will never know the joy of playing computers for an hour once a week. Now they get it all the time. I don't remember being like very restricted on play time, to be honest. Also, I think that's how I started learning English, now that I think about it, because I was sent by one of my aunts a CD that had a dog in it, and they were math games, but everything was in English, but I didn't speak English back then, and somehow I understood it. So yeah, iced tea is the best. What are you all on about? I would drink it every day if it weren't if they sold it in larger quantities here, and also didn't like hurt your stomach in the long run if you drink it too often. Pure magic. I'm not a hot tea person. I've tried, because I think it's an interesting art, the art of tea. but I've never really, I can't. Especially black tea. It tastes like nothing to me. I don't know why. So, yeah, I know they say gallons of it over there, but they don't hear. That's why. That's why I'm saying, like, if there were gallons of tea here, I would buy them. But they don't. They only sell cans. Or bottles. I use for a math Polish side Matsu. Ooh. Interesting. I like to know how like you guys had different sites and all. To learn things. Yeah, cans. Cans of tea. Going back a little bit on the games that I played, I started with those types of games, with like the educational CD games. And then one day my mom had to go to the internet cafe for some reason. I don't remember. She wanted to get something printed or something. I don't know. But she was gonna take a little bit, and she took me with her. And so the person in charge of the internet cafe was like, "Here, play this while you wait." Without charging, because we were basically neighbors. And so he opened a page that was called games.ws, and I was like, oh, what is this? And it was a Scooby-Doo mystery game. It was Shaggy and Scooby, I remember that. And it was like about finding clues and stuff, and kind of maze-like. And it was interesting, but at the same time a little scary for me back then. But I liked it a lot. And that's how I started finding like pages. And whenever I watch like Cartoon Network or Disney Channel and that kind of stuff, and they would be like, oh, play our games in this site, I would just write it down and put it and look it up and then play games there. And that's also how I found like the old good Flash games. And later on I started playing like Bombit and all of that, and the Papa Louie games, man, I miss those. I love those. So yeah. You don't drink cans of tea? Yeah, right? It is in cans here. Only soda, energy, or beer is in What? Wait? What is wrong with canned tea? I don't get it. Like, that's a very common thing here. But I'm not like talking about like proper tea. Is that super sweet tea? You know? There are more anomalies with tea. Yeah, I bet. Like, I feel like you guys being horrified by tea in cans. I don't... What? We only have bottles. But why? Hola, Leonardo. Welcome. Estamos platicando de cosas random. Ahorita estamos hablando de té y que al parecer es raro que vendan té en lata. That's basically it. Wait, what are we talking about tea in the microwave? Hello? Hold on. Let me recap. I got lost. Oh, okay, I saw. Enki was saying like there's crazier things like making tea in microwave. I understand now. Yeah, the tea in microwave sucks. I do own a kettle, but I don't like hot tea. Like the tea bags. First of all, that's not proper tea either. That's just like a downgraded version of the OG, which is like sipping the leaves and all of that, which I've never had the pleasure of doing because that's pretty expensive here. But I don't like hot tea, like from the tea bags. They taste like nothing. It just tastes like hot water, and it sucks. That's why I only drink like the bottled tea that is very sweet and iced tea. Yeah, there are people that actually heat up the water for their tea on the microwave. It's weird. I don't know why. I do own a kettle, but then again, I don't drink hot tea. What happens if you make tea in the microwave? It just tastes bad. There's like everything about it. It just like downgrades the experience even more. And I'm saying this as someone who just doesn't like to drink hot tea. Just like I don't like to drink hot coffee. I don't like hot drinks in general, I think. The only thing that I can tolerate is like hot chocolate, and that's it when it's winter. But yeah, the microwaving and the water on the microwave, I already said microwaving. The microwaving the water really downgrades the experience of whatever like warm drink you're trying to drink. It's better to just put it on a kettle and then serve it. But then again, I'm not very fond of those. That is a war crime. And they are as Asians that don't know about rice in bags. Man. But yeah, I just don't like the tea bags, nor just hot tea in general. Why do you like tea so much if you hate the British? Hold on. Now that I think about it. Hot tea is the best beginning of the day. Oh, milk in bags? Well, first of all, I don't like milk by itself in general. But somehow milk in a bag just doesn't taste good either. Like, it tastes worse for me. I don't know. Why is it confused? I think you're the one that has not been properly exposed to the world. Milk in bags is a pretty common thing, I think, in Canada. It's not as common here, but it's still a thing. It's usually cheaper. Boston Tea Party. Milk in carton? Well, that's almost every country, I feel like. I knew about it. It's real and it can't hurt. It is very much real. And I personally don't like it that much, but I don't think it's that bad either. Milk in carton? What do you drink your milk out of then? Like, what do you drink your milk out of? The cow itself? Let me get the milk we have in the fridge. It's the only milk I will accept. Or is it in like glass bottles? But that is not normal. I mean, I'm not lactose intolerant, and yet every type of milk hurts me in one way or the other. So, you know. Almond milk just sucks. By the way. Tastes bad. I hate it. Normal milk I don't like by itself. It has to be like in any type of other presentation, like, I don't know, ice cream. And I am tolerant for everything. That sounds like lactose intolerance. How is almond milk gonna make me lactose intolerant? Isn't that supposed to be like the substitute? Because it has no lactose and shit. Like, I drink, in my house there are two types of people: lactose intolerant people and non-lactose intolerant people. I drink both types of milk, like the one that has no lactose for the lactose intolerant people, and I drink the normal one, and sometimes the normal one I'm fine, but I drink the non-lactose one and it hurts. And now the neighbor decided to start doing whatever they were doing again about construction. It's not an almond milk. Yeah, like I drank the non-lactose milk, non-lactose and light. Oh my god, Khan. What are you, 5? Before you add me, it's a meme. I know. That's why I'm like, what are you, 5? I know it's a meme! Anyway. The point is that no matter what type of milk I drink, sometimes I get a debuff and sometimes I don't. And it's weird. Man. I was gonna be like, when did it come to this conversation? It all started because I wanted to change subject and I was asked what my favorite food was. Now I remember. What are you... Where did this come from? What do you mean I'm not the one who dressed up as Elsa? What are you on about? What is that supposed to mean? It's like a potion in a video game, random chance for healing or poison. Exactly. You said I was a kid. And? What does Elsa have to do with that? If you're referring to my 16th birthday party, I did not dress up as Elsa in my 16th birthday party. That was when I was like 13 and I went to a fancy restaurant. I didn't say I dressed up as Elsa. I mentioned that I had my 16th birthday party was Frozen themed. And yes, I love Elsa. I would have no problem dressing up as Elsa right now, but that's not what I said. Don't twist my words. I never said that I dressed up as Elsa as a teenager. What are you on about? I'm being gaslighted. No, you're trying to gaslight me. I never said that. I never said that. You twist your words constantly. Exactly. Like, what is good? Man. Con the gaslighter. Jeez. I guess now you know, guys. Never talk to him about clothes. He gets weird about it. I never said that I dressed up as Elsa as a teenager, though. Because the only time I kind of did, it was because my mom made me a similar-ish dress for a fancy dinner for my grandma's birthday, but that was pretty much it, and I was like 13. But that was the only instance. I had, like, when I turned 16, I asked for a Frozen themed birthday party, A very small one, not like a Sweet 16 thing. That's not a thing here. A very small one amongst my friends, and I didn't dress up as anything. I just put like a tablecloth that had like Frozen drawings in it. My cake was themed around Frozen. I also had posters put up on the wall, and I had a piñata. That's the only Elsa thing I had. And then one of my friends accidentally decapitated her when we were hitting it. But that was pretty much it. Well, that is also true for you, Confused. I'm sorry. My apologies, I misremember. Yeah, I never said that I was... No. Like, it wouldn't be embarrassing, but it's just like, I never said that. I never said that. And I'm not about to be gaslighted about my own life. Oh man. They were so quiet. Why are you doing this now? And it keeps going. And it gets louder. You don't hear it because I'm constantly muting, but a lot of confusion is going on in this chat, indeed. Hello, malicious bookmark. Man. Man. It's a nice background noise. No, I replayed the Lake of Voices stream when people were hammering and stuff around, and I was like, how did I stream like that? Reminds me of home. It's very annoying to me, I don't know. Anyway, what was it? What were we talking about before all this discussion about gaslighting? I've forgotten. Wait, hold on. I turned the game down and it still registers here. Oh my god. Well, I guess I'll just resign myself. They were hammering the... Yeah! Oh, we were talking about tea. Drink that bubble tea. It is staying untouched for 87 minutes. Don't worry, it won't grow stale. Oh man, I love bubble tea. Matcha bubble tea. My beloved. I want one real bad. I always want matcha tea. Plastic jug? What are you talking about? Now that I've never heard of. Hold on. I need to see this. Where's my Discord? Where did you put this? Oh, okay. I almost had a heart attack. Jeez. I was like, what are you on about? What is this? But no, it's fine. It's just a normal plastic jug. We're good. sounds so un-European. Well, I'm not European, so I don't know if it is or not, but carton is just normal. For me, at least. It's just where the milk is. All the time. Now I'm getting hungry. Dang it. I shouldn't have just eaten cereal for breakfast. Man. Yeah, plastic jugs are also normal, but it's more common to just buy cartons of milk. But why do you drink so much milk in the first place? Are you like a goat? That's what my dad used to tell me when I was younger. No, I didn't meow. What? No, I said, man, that's not a meow. Cereal for breakfast is luxury food. Here, for me, cereal for breakfast is if I can't find anything else to eat, but I have to resign myself because I need to eat something. It's last resort food. Yeah, what's your favorite cereal? Has any of you heard about the delicious Cookie Crisp cereal? That is my cereal. I love Cookie Crisp. Hot tea and bread with cheese. Debatable. You need some way to get taller. I stand in my garden and see the sea level has risen. Drink my 2 liters of milk and grow 10 centimeters. Keep my head above water. Lies. Milk doesn't make you grow taller. If it did, I would be taller. The breakfast, hot tea and bread with cheese. Well, see, that's the problem. You only eat bread for breakfast. You should eat more for breakfast. I say as someone who doesn't have a proper breakfast either. You're drinking the wrong milk. It's common milk! Bread is good, but bread rolls. Ooh, bread rolls. Tasty. I'm just getting hungrier. Dang it. Bread is breakfast number 1. No. Eggs is breakfast number 1. And I say this as someone who ate mostly eggs as breakfast for around 16 years. Eggs is something you eat for a fancy lunch? What are you talking about? It's just common breakfast here. It's just common food. Our top tier. I like it, but not all the time. Because again, I ate mostly eggs for breakfast for 16 years. So eventually I grew tired of them. But they're good. I like omelets and boiled eggs the most. But the most item is coffee. I don't like coffee. I really don't drink coffee. I only drink when I really feel like I'm about to shut down. If I don't have something that wakes me up. But that's pretty much it. No wonder you guys are so, like, amazed by how we eat here. You eat very little in the mornings. Eggs is just a common breakfast here. I don't see it as a fancy breakfast. Whenever, if I go to a restaurant to have breakfast and they offer me eggs, it's like, that's just something I could have at home. It's nothing special in my book, at least. 2 slices of bread and that's your breakfast? That's not a lot. How big is your slice of bread? Wait, never mind. Eggs are expensive. Yeah, they're expensive here too, but that's why, well, at least in this household we buy like more in advance, so we don't have to go as often. But I don't know, it's just simply like, even though it's not as cheap, it's just like a basic item in every home. Everything's expensive anyway nowadays, but it's just like a basic item in almost every home. Meat is expensive. I would like be more like, oh yeah, that makes sense if you tell me you don't eat a lot of meat. But eggs? Doesn't take down the quality? No, it's just, you just put them in the fridge. And that's how you, like, preserve them. They're in a package anyway. So you just put them in the fridge, and that just preserves them better. The cost. It takes it down in the sense of, like, well, first of all, you look for the sales. You don't look to buy it at full price all the time. You look for the sales. Then you get the sales. And then if you buy like 2 are they cartons? They're not, kind of. Like usually one of the big packages has like 30 eggs, around 30 eggs. So you buy 2 of those and you have 60 eggs, and that can last for like a month or 2 depending on how many eggs you eat. And that way you don't have to be spending that money every single time you go to the supermarket. I buy things so they last at least a month. Here they can go on sale sometimes. It really depends on the franchise that sells them, or where you buy them. There's always sales at some point of in items of like food. But anyway, how big are your slices of bread that you're like, oh yeah, that's a lot? Because that's not a lot. I usually only eat 2 slices of toast bread with butter on them for my breakfast. And by 12 p.m., 1 p.m., I'm already hungry. Her life hack to steal everything. No. Well, while you guys answer me, I'm gonna go to an idol meeting because I've been drinking too much water. Hold on. I'll be right back. Behave. There's no such thing as fresh milk. I had to turn on my fan. Hold on. Room. There we go. I'm back. Whee! They don't sell fresh milk in the stores. They only sell the one in the jar, in the plastic jar, is not fresh milk. It's just milk. Just like the carton one. Different presentation. Also, I didn't know that I hadn't muted myself and the BRB. But anyway. My throat is still hurting, so now I'm getting concerned. Maybe it's nothing. Fresh milk is cow beef? What are you? Huh? Yeah, the best meat is chicken. I wholeheartedly agree that the best meat is chicken. Oh, chicken with seasoned with lemon pepper. Oh. Why are you all making me hungry? Bye bye, Alice. Thank you for stopping by. There's no such thing as milk that lasts a month without cooling. Every milk needs to be cool. Every type of milk. Otherwise it will just go bad. Faster. Yeah, chicken is the superior meat. I used to like pork better, but nowadays I don't know why, I've just kind of grown out of it, and I just like chicken better. Horrible idea. No, why? Today it is amazing. Beef stew. I don't think I've had beef stew, but I just like chicken better. Is fish considered like a meat, or is it just its separate own thing? Is it just considered seafood? Because seafood is different from meats. We mix every type of milk into one glass. $1,000 if you drink it all? Tempting offer. That could work for a hand cam. Although, then how would I finish the rest of the milk? Because it's not like they sell it in like small packages. Fish is meat, but you count as pescivore instead of carnivore. Here's the thing, if you put chicken or fresh tuna in front of me, I will go for the fresh tuna. I just love fresh tuna. It's expensive, but man, is it good. I just had ceviche yesterday, now that I remember, and it was so good. It was not fresh tuna, it was canned tuna, but oh. Well, not even, it wasn't even tuna, it was just like tilapia, I think. Tuna great, cause money makes me sad. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I miss tuna tostadas. Tostadas de atún. A fresh tuna. Man. You not even canned tuna? Like the cheap one? Cause tuna in every presentation is like so good. Fresh tuna is the superior entity, but canned tuna is also very good. You need to at least try canned tuna. It's so good. It's so good. With mayo and avocado. In tostadas. It feels weird to say tostada, like tostadas. It's tostadas. They're tostadas. The best fish is salmon. I've tried salmon. I like tuna better. I like tuna better. Yeah, it's good. Because every fish except salmon tastes the same. No. Tuna tastes very different from tilapia. I like tuna better than salmon. I have tried it. It is good, but tuna is way better. Especially fresh tuna. With lime and salt and a little, like, slightly bit of spice. And avocado and and some pepper. I'm salivating now. I don't like onions, so I don't know. But I like my superior fish is tuna, fresh tuna. But salmon is also very good. I think salmon is usually the thing they put in sushi, don't they? Or at least that's what I ask whenever I go eat sushi, because I don't like shrimp. Unfortunately. But I either ask for salmon or crab in my sushi rolls. Salmon and tuna and salmon in sushi. And I kept messing up now. Yeah. Man, now I was already hungry and I'm like, I want some sushi and green tea. Oh. Well, matcha tea is the same thing, I think. That reminds me, now that we're talking about food and eggs, you wanted to know about the school system, right? Confused? You know how we eat herring? I don't think I've ever... Oh, hold on, let me look up herring and see if I know what type of fish that is. I don't know. Herring. Fishish. Oh, it's this one. I don't think I've tried this one. I don't think I've ever tried herring. No, Enki, don't go! Oh, is it like... They kind of look like tacos. It's like the skin peeled off around something. Are those potatoes? They're popular in Poland, really. With oil and cream. Ooh. I would try it. It looks interesting. Like, I've never... Salad with them. Oh. Like, I've never seen this presentation before, but it looks interesting. I would try it. Like, it doesn't look necessarily like appetizing, but it also doesn't look bad that I would be like, oh, you know? I would be like, okay, I will try it. But yeah. Moving on from food because I'm getting very hungry. School system. How does your school system work? How do your school systems work? I am curious now. Because apparently mine is weird according to Confused. I've never heard of high school lasting 6 years, by the way. Sweat disc. Sweat disc. How do I pronounce that? Sweat disc. Ah. Or do you mean Swedish? Oh, let me catch up with chat. There it is. Man, I'm hungry now. Dang it. I'm gonna have to make some toast after this. Yeah, Swedish. I'm assuming the Confused is typing. This is gonna be a long conversation. School systems. I know barely, I think, how school system works in the US, but then I'm also not quite sure exactly. I know that college and university are not necessarily the same thing, and apparently high school lasts like 4 years. There's something weird that I don't know. School system, you say? Yeah, like Confused was asking the other day, how the heck does the school system work where I'm from, because he was telling me that high school is minimum 4 years over there in the Netherlands. And I was like, what? So we started 4 years old. You started 4 years old? Man. 8 years of basic school. What? Okay. So from 4 to 12. At the end of that, they decide what kind of education you are capable of following. Wow. Like in a good or a bad way? Like more like how you learn, right? Like the ways you learn? Hello, Con. We're talking about school systems. How does the US school system work? They decide what kind of education you are capable of following. You get either whatever that is high school. VMBO is the easiest. Oh, why is my mall like struggling? Hold on. Too much information apparently. VMBO is the easiest and lasts 4 years. 3 years of warming up for all 3. VMO is exams in the 4th year, and HAVO has 5 years. VWO is 6 years. I assumed you do VWO. Huh. But why? You either rise or crash, no in between. What I mean is like how many years in each like different type of like school. Not academically. I mean I think that's basically everyone. So then those systems are like how you learn. I'm assuming? Like they divide you on the different ways you learn or something like that? Confused? Enki says, we started 7 years old, 8 years of primary school, then 4 years of high school or 5 years of tech school. Huh. So, why do you start school so late? 7 years old. So from 7 to 15, and then up until 19 or 20 depending. 12 years. But how does it like divide? Is it like, because I know that there are some that like, do you do 4 or 3 years of high school? At the end of 4th year of BMBO, you are at the level of 3rd year of HABO. And at the end of the 5th year HABO, you're on the level of 4th year of... So only those who do VWO are able to go to uni? Then? I'm like very confused. You can still make your way up to there. I'm very confused on how your school system works. So like you can I don't understand. Yeah, 6 elementary, 2 middle, 4 high. Okay. And then college? What is the difference between, like, I've seen that there's apparently a difference between university and college, but I don't know. I'm just swaying on my chair, by the way, like, that's why I'm moving. I think so, yeah. If you do any lower, you go to college, but not uni. Probably with extra schooling, you can go to uni, huh? So what's the difference between college and uni? Because for me, like, at least when you translate the words, they're the same thing. But what is the difference for you all between college and uni? Then I'm curious. I'll talk about mine in a second. I'm just like trying to process whatever this school system is. So like, they tell you which one you should go to, but you can also apply for the others if you want to go to like uni. More specific, doctor is uni. If you want to become an electrician like Enki, you can do college. We used to have middle schools. There were 6 grades of primary, 3 middle, and 3 high school, or 4 tech school. Huh. So that changed recently. Interesting. Tech school is not uni. Okay, no, actually that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes more sense with what I'm used to. Enki system is more familiar to me. Well, Enkis and Confucius, but cons. Sorry, cons. Not confused. Confused. It's just making me more confused. But that makes sense. You don't have any middle school at all. I could tell because you guys do 8 years of basic school. I guess it would be like 8 years of elementary, technically. Interesting. So in the US, there's no difference between college and uni, it's just the way you call it. But in the Netherlands, it depends on what kind of thing you're studying then. So if you want to become a doctor, you have to go to university, but if you want to become like an electrician, you go to college. If you want to become an engineer, you go to college then? For example? Are there art careers over there? I assume there are. But I don't know. Interesting. But wait, what about preschool in the US? Do you guys have preschool? Or do you guys just not count it? Or is there just no preschool? I want to go to uni, so that's one of the reasons I'm already doing quantum stuff. And oh, okay. Yeah, we have preschool. All right. How many years of preschool? 2 or 3? Is there preschool in Poland or the Netherlands? Like, I'm just throwing general questions because I want to know. It's very interesting to me, this. Do I think? They don't count kindergarten or pre-K here. But why? You're going to school at the end of the day. It's part of your formative years. Or is it just that you can actually skip it, so it doesn't matter? So I know there are some places where you can actually skip it. That's just the cap of my bottle, by the way. I'm playing with it. We start so late in Poland because we have a kindergarten 3 to 6 year old. Oh, okay. There is art. I don't know exactly what the difference are. College is just the best term I could come. Okay. Yeah, you can skip it. Ah, I see. You don't know what kindergarten is? The little kids that go to school. Well, I guess it makes sense because you guys start at 4 years old up until 12. It's just one school, so you guys don't have really kindergarten. What do you learn there? Basic human interaction. It's the tutorial level. Yeah, it's just like you start to learn the letters. Depends on what type of school you're going. You either start learning how to read or how to count and stuff. Okay, so now I'll explain my school system because so here we have 3 years of preschool. It used to be an option for you to skip the first 2, but now it is obligatory that you have to do 3 years of preschool. Then we have 6 years of elementary school. How to throw building blocks at kids, basically, and how to color and draw. Like, it's more like start stimulating your capabilities, I guess. Like, you learn very basic things, and then when you get to elementary, you start learning like properly how to read, how to write, how to count more than 1 to 10. How to color inside the lines. I wanted to continue, but I cut my senses before primary school. You have Seroka, which is a literally 0 class, something like preschool, and you cannot pass. I mean, I think you technically can't fail preschool, but it really depends on the school you're going to. Because nowadays, like my little cousins, one of them is... No, he's no longer in preschool. But when he was in preschool, he was already doing exams and stuff. And I was like, why are they asking you? But it's just because he goes to a private school as well. And it's like a more demanding one. Because, for example, one of my small cousins is like 7 or 8. And he's already like learning, doing like advanced-ish exams of English, and he's starting to learn French. Like, it really depends on what school you go to as well. Wait, hold on. What is the word that you put on the chat? I want to know. Tech language. Yeah, it's kindergarten. But how do I pronounce it? What language is this? Polish. I want to know how to pronounce it. Zerówka. Zerówka. Is that kindergarten then? Zerówka? I can't pronounce my Z's. I know someone who failed Did he not go or what? Did he fail because of attendance? Low attendance? We had 0 class too. Huh. So, well, it really depends what you learn in preschool, but at least nowadays in some private schools it seems to be like more demanding. I don't know how it was before. But then you go to elementary for 6 years, and then you go to middle school for 3 years, then you go to high school for 3 years, and then you go to college or university, which is the same thing here. But when you study a 3-year high school, which is the normal one, you have the opportunity to study at the same time a technical career on the side. I think it's also like mandatory that to study a technical career in middle school. I mean in high school. But yeah. Instead of something like preschool and kindergarten in one. Oh. Okay. How late do you do high school? Well, you see, you do kindergarten between 3 and 5 years old. Like you start kindergarten at 3, and by the time you get out and go to elementary, you're supposed to already be 6. And so you do elementary from 6 to 11. Well, 6 to 11, 6 to 12, and then you do middle school from 12 to 15, and high school is from 15 to 18. That is like the norm. And I say that is like the norm because that's not what I did. I'll talk about it in a second, but I'm just letting you guys process that. What do you learn in middle school? When it comes to math, it's like equations. Yeah, just equations is all I remember. And like more complex geometry and with like tangents and all of that. Chemistry, you get like depends on the school as well how they do the program, but you usually get like a year of biology, a year of physics, and a year of chemistry, and then like the basics, and then history, geography, like local geography, and then countrywide geography, and then ethics, Spanish, English. It used to be mandatory, like it used to not be mandatory that in public schools, for public schools to teach English from elementary. So usually if you came from like if you had only been studying in public schools, you wouldn't start learning English until middle school. Ooh, nice! Another set of kneecaps for me. Hehe. I learned how to steal for computers in art room. We also get like workshops. You don't really get to choose which workshop you want to go to. They kind of decide. You kind of just let them know, hey, I would prefer this one, but they just choose for you. And so they send me to like this. What is it called? In English, like in Spanish, it was ofimática or taquimecanografía, but in Spanish, ofimática, office automation. It's what it says. Google Translate. Or shorthand typing. Which was basically how to learn how to do like secretary work with typewriters. And then on my last year, they finally switched to computers because they suddenly realized, oh, yeah, typewriters have been obsolete for a while now. But I love learning with typewriters. That was not what I wanted. I wanted to go to electrical, but back then the teacher only accepted men. He didn't want any female students in it until they forced him, like when I was already on like my last year, I think, is when they started accepting females into into electrical. The fact that you scream ethics after I said it, that is so funny to me. So yeah, there were like workshops, and they would put you into one, and another one was like architectural drawing or something like that. It was like a specialized type of drawing class, and there was like sewing, and then or they called it cut and confection, but it was just sewing. Sewing, and I think that was pretty much it, at least in my school. There are other middle schools that have like way more options, but I think those were all the options in mine. In fact, in electric class we had only men. Even computer class had girls. Yeah, I don't know why that was the thing. I wanted to go to electrical, but in the end it worked in my favor just because the workload was less. So I always aced the class. So this test week I learned ecology in high school as well. Balancing ecosystems with biology, nuclear fusion with physics, and deciding which chemical process is less toxic for chemistry. That's advanced stuff. That into that type of depth, I would probably see in college if I chose a career related to any of that. They don't teach you like that that much in depth in high school. They just give you the basics for when you decide to go to college. In engineering, we have one girl and she's the smartest. Yes, she is. I was only interested in engineering once, and then I just completely lost interest in it, and then I didn't. My mom always asked me why I never went into something math related, because I was good at it, but then again, being good at it doesn't mean that you like it. I like doing basic equations and fractions and all of that, but I don't really like getting into the nitty-gritty of formulas and stuff. I was able to do it. It wasn't that hard for me, but I just never quite enjoyed it. So it was never my field. You get a lot of other options. We just have basic classes except art, that is the most exciting, but you need to choose it. Ooh. We don't really get to choose anything. Or at least I didn't. I didn't get to choose anything, nor in middle school, nor in high school. So in middle school, we have like Spanish, but you also learn Spanish, and like Spanish is just a constant until you get into high school, where it changes to literature. It had math, chemistry, biology, physics, history, geography, ethics, English. I think that was pretty much it. I don't remember other subjects. We had dance class, but that wasn't really dance class. The teacher never did anything dance related until the third year. It wasn't really good. We had also drawing class on the first year, and what is it called? PE? Physical education? But again, that was just going outside and actually doing something. That was pretty much it. No, we didn't have an owl class. I'm good at math, but I don't love it. Yeah. So I'm already at more than college level depth on most subjects. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. in a way, I think that's better because it prepares you for and doesn't like leave you completely in the dark for when you actually get into like into uni. But yeah, then on high school you have to study 3 years, and you at the same time, and think on the last year is when you study the technical one of the technical options they give you. What did Enki call it? Tech school, yeah, like a year of tech school, but alongside your other subjects. But then again, I wouldn't be able to properly tell you how that's like because I didn't do that. I didn't study in a 3-year high school. There are only some states in the country or some cities that have that option that is certified as well, but not every. It's not like an option in every part of the country to study into 2-year high school. You kind of mix and match your classes with limited parameters. I have geography, chemistry, biology, physics, art, history, art, Dutch, Cambridge, religion, and they also give you religion? Huh. Interesting. And statistics, chance, math. Honestly, aside from chemistry because I suck at it, that sounds fun. I also wasn't bad at physics, but I also didn't like it, so I would remove physics from that as well. But I liked biology. Biology was fun. Geography would serve me to learn better. Art history, that's just what I did in college and in my first years. I don't know Dutch, so that would be fun. Cambridge I already did. And statistics is also fun. I really like them. But yeah. You guys have religion class in high school? That's not a thing unless you actually go to a Catholic school here. Like, unless you go to a Catholic school and then it's not optional, it's like you have to take it. Literature and stuff, yeah. Meanwhile, in my electric class, they replaced physics with biology. Oh, man. Hello, Alice. Welcome back. Yeah, I went to a Catholic. Oh, then it makes sense because it's just not an option unless you go to a Catholic school. I only went to a Catholic school during elementary, and even then, like, we have to get into the story of my life because I switched schools pretty often during my lifetime. Music school, and then I switched to another career. Hold on, it was a mistake to turn off the fan. There it is. Oh wait, don't do that. Don't turn around. Turn around. Every now and then. Just like polish. Yeah. So I think I've talked a little bit about this before. Especially when during one of my collabs with Soru. Khan will remember probably. But I moved around a lot as a kid. I lived in 4 different states. See, Leo, this is why having plan doesn't work. Oh, the plan always goes wrong anyway, so I have one. We need to have multiple plans then. I can't help my control freak impulses. What are you expecting of me? Apparently, I've learned this with by learning a little bit of psychology. I just like looking into like psychological things from time to time on my free time. I think it's very interesting. That apparently moving around a lot also makes the child feel like without control of their environment. like very out of control, and that's why they grow up to become like try to control their environment as much as they can, to be control freaks. And I'm like, oh wait, that makes sense. Or no plan. I moved that only once. No, I moved 5 times. Yeah. And might move a 6th time soonish. I'm not looking for. I felt sad. No, I'm gonna cry. Never mind. I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm not gonna talk about that last one. We had religion class in 2nd year about the biggest religions around the world. This year it come back for some reason. Hinduism, Buddhism, your own luck, and metaphysics. Ooh, that sounds actually really interesting. I would love to learn about like the different religions and how they work. That sounds super interesting. Man, your school is fine. What the heck? I just expect the universe is random, so just go with the flow. I moved twice, but I can't remember those. I did change school 5 times. Well, my friend, let me tell you. So I moved, like I was born in for those of you who don't know, hi, I'm Mexican. So I was born in Mexico City, but I didn't live there for long. I only lived there for like a year, and then we moved to another state. It has always been because of my dad's work, so yeah. So we moved. I lived there for like 6 months in that other place. I'm not gonna name the states, like the rest of the states, because I'm gonna dox myself. Mexico real. It's always been real. Shut up. Oh yeah, I think you weren't there when I actually told them where I was from. Yeah, you were on that stream. Tyler and Confused asked, and I just told them. I had already mentioned it, and then Enki asked once. What? What do you mean confused? What do you mean? Yeah, I know. Like again, when I mentioned it, I said like it's not very hard to tell if you actually look at my content and the way I talk about things and stuff, and the way Hannah talks about things, and where Ibra is from, and all of that. Yeah, no, it's fine. Like I'm not like actively trying to hide it. It's just that I don't mention it oftentimes because of reasons. But it's not that I'm embarrassed. It's more like it has more like to do with people being weird about it. But it's not something that I actively try to like. Oh no, no one can find out about where I'm from. It's pretty obvious if you actually look at my channel, I feel like. That's good. Confused. We dropped that subject. Moving on. Anyway, the point is that we moved to another state, and then I lived there for like less than 6 months, and then we moved to another state. I lived there for like 3 years. I started preschool there, and then we moved again, and I lived on that other state for a year, and then after the year we moved to another state, and I lived there for how many years has it been now? I was 16 years? Kind of? Yeah. And so when it comes to schools, like I started when I was in preschool, I started at one school, then I switched schools, and then when I had to move to another state, I switched school again. So I finished my preschool. So I did preschool in 3 different schools, and then I started elementary, and then we had to move again, and so I had to enter another school. So I did my 1st grade in 2 different schools, and then for my 2nd grade up until the 6th, I moved to another school. So that's... how many is it? 3 for kindergarten, 2 for 1st year. So that's 6 schools. And then middle school I did somewhere else. In high school. And then I did music school and dropped out. So I've been to 10 different schools. Hello, Alice. Oh yeah, that is actually the official name. Oh no! Oh, that's horrible. I'm so sorry for your friend. How the I went back into the chat, into the log. How do you not know this? Most countries have states. I am so offended for some reason. Con, how did you not know that Mexico has states? I have beef with Con. Don't worry, the rest of you don't worry. This is between me and Con. How did you not know that Mexico has states? Hold on, let me open the door for my doggo while you answer. Let me go open the door for my doggo. Sorry. There we go. Steal the caps. His silence speaks volumes. Poland don't have states, we have... Wait, what are ships? Is that like cities? What? There we go. Yes, I read that right. Oh no, is your friend okay? Boba ships. But anyway, yeah, I'm like, how did you not... Look at the map. We're not aliens. Man. I don't know why I took offense at him not knowing that. Maybe because our countries are neighbors, and they also make me study sometimes their countries. Huh. Anyway. But yeah, so in total I think I've been to 10 schools. And I moved 5 different times. My move is 6th one. I don't know how I didn't know. I had never heard someone describe their Mexico state like here in the USA and Canada. We usually say we're from our state, not our country. I mean, it's because if I tell you, oh yeah, I'm not from there and I do not live there, by the way. I'm just putting an example. Like, oh, I live in Monterrey. You're gonna know where Monterrey is? You want to know what I'm talking about? Try to stop her, Milky Way. She can't do that if she has a broken leg. Yeah, I know, but still. Still, if I tell you, like, if I tell you, hey, yeah, I'm from Monterrey, are you gonna know what Monterrey is? Just like how people in general know what when you talk about Florida? No. So we just say the country in general because people don't know our states. Like, they are supposed to know they exist, but if I tell you a state specifically, you're not gonna know unless it's Mexico City, which is not even a state, it's just the capital. It used to be something different. It used to be the federal district, but then they changed it. Tabasco. It's very bad reading, but yes, it's Tabasco. 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 Like the sauce. Tabasco. Confused. Let me tell you. Let me explain to you. Tabasco is a sauce because it's named after the state. Advertise it more. Everyone knows Florida and Ohio. Just say your state more. It's about branding. Well, everyone seems to know Cancun recently. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, I went to Cancun. And I'm like... And? Everyone goes to Cancun for vacation. No one goes to visit the other states. Yatta! Another soul! Like champagne? Yeah. Oh yeah, Chihuahua. Chihuahua is one of the ones up north. I did know what Pennsylvania is. You know why? Because it sounds like Transylvania, the city that doesn't exist. I don't know what you can find in Pennsylvania, but I know that MatPat's grandparents are from there apparently, or live there, or lived there. I don't know. He mentioned it once. I do know that Pennsylvania exists. I know that Ohio exists. I know that Florida exists. Well, I've been to Florida. I know that New York exists. I know that the Tennessee is a thing. I don't know if that's a state. I think it is. I know from Florida. I know about a section called Pensacola. I know Texas. I know that Texas exists. I've only been to a little section of Texas. I know about Arizona. I know about North and South Dakota. California. Is Washington a state? I think those are all the states I know. Oh yeah, Oklahoma. There's a musical. There's a musical named after that. Or Kansas. Oh, what about Kansas? Kansas isn't where Dorothy's from? From the Wizard of Oz? Okay, Washington and Tennessee are states. Nice. Oh. Minnesota. Minnesota. I don't say Hawaii because I know that's not a state. That's just part of the US, but it's not in their territory. Iowa, Delaware, yeah. Oh yeah, North Carolina. I forgot about those. Kentucky? I got promised to be taken to Kentucky once and then they didn't. That's why I know it. There are a lot of places in the US. There are 50 states, in my defense. It does count as a state? Okay. It's because I say it because like how Puerto Rico is like part of your... I guess it's in your jurisdiction in a way, but it's not part of the territory. So I didn't know if Hawaii counted as a state because it's supposed to be like an island, isn't it? So, yeah. Um, I don't know why I say the things like in English pronunciation when I could just say them in Spanish when I say like Puerto Rico. No Puerto Rico, but whatever. The biggest state. Texas? What is the biggest state? I don't know. If it's not Texas, then I don't know. Remembering, I know even less about European countries. Just like I have how I know nothing about Canadians. I know Canada has like I already forgot the name of the only state I knew. I've already forgotten. Alaska. Alaska counts as a state? I thought that was also like separate territory under you guys' jurisdiction. I skipped the year where I learned European geography. I know nothing. Man. Oh yeah, Quebec. Quebec is the one that I forgot. Quebec was the one that I knew and forgot. Are those Canadian or are those from Nova Scotia? That sounds familiar. British Columbia. That sounds familiar. Oh yeah, Canada. Canada. You're right. I only knew Quebec. And Ontario? Is that how it's pronounced? So you say Ontario. Ontario? Anyway, this evolved into a conversation that I'm not no expert in. Has been a state for 60 years. Well, 60 years is not a long time. My grandma is 83. So how would I know? Like, I know it's part of you guys' like territories, but I didn't know if it was actually a state. Again, Puerto Rico example. Because you have places that are like under your what, protection, or that are part are like, I don't know. No, my grandma. I'm not 83. Countries, entire countries, baby. I forgot what I was saying, but you have territories that are like not part of the country and they're not considered as states. So that's why sometimes I don't know which ones count as states and which one doesn't. So I didn't know that. I wasn't sure if Alaska and Hawaii counted, but now I know. They're part of the 50 states. But yeah, Mexico has like 32-ish. It's because the people voted not to. Well, yeah, it makes sense because it's a country, technically, or it's a country, and it's not in the territory, really. So it makes sense. But yeah, I think Mexico, if I remember correctly, we have 32. One of them is named after, like, the sauce, Tabasco. We're not the baby ones in the sense of like years, I think. Yeah, 32 states. And Mexico City. We have 12. See? There are smaller places in the world. Or at least divided in less portions, because the US is a big territory, but it's not as big as Russia. It's still counted as another country, though. from what I've seen. Oh yeah, there's Philadelphia. Huh. Anyway, the Mexico City, fun fact, Mexico City, it used to not be Mexico City. That was established after like 2016, I think. It used to be called, it used to be a federal district. That was it, but for practicity's sake, people like in English always called it Mexico City, even though that was not its name. And then they changed it to actually Mexico City. So technically, I wasn't born in Mexico City. I was born in the federal district, but they just changed the name. There we go. Anyway. What was I talking about? We were talking about school, right? Yeah. I was talking about how many times okay. I was talking about how many times I've moved, and that I might move a sixth time. And how many schools I've been in. We were talking about that. So, that was that. But I did a 2-year high school because I refused to be in the educational system for any more time. And that was an option where I lived. So, I did that. But that meant... No, it's not. It pays taxes to the US. It's in the... Okay. Do they vote for president in the US? Genuine question. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so I studied in a 2-year high school. Which is basically accelerated course. And so that meant that I had to go from Mondays to Saturdays to school. I would go Saturday mornings to school as well. So on the week like weekdays, Monday to Friday, we would go from like 7 a.m. to 1, like past 10 past 1, like 1:10, yeah, p.m. In every school they told you that there's only one America, like the continent? The continent. Are we talking about the continent? Are we gonna have this conversation again? Hold on, what happened to my model? Tracking, hello, there we go. America, the continent. Yeah, it is only one continent that we divide in 3 for like to know which countries belong to which section. Like how North America is Canada, the US and Mexico, and then Central America, I know it's from Belize down to I don't remember what country is like at the end of Central America, but South America starts from where Venezuela and Colombia are, and downwards. The rest of that is South America, but that never counted as 2 separate continents because they're stuck together. So it's just America, the whole continent. I actually asked my mom because I was curious, like, hey, has this always been like this? Because apparently my viewers tell me that they were thought that there are 7 continents, and so she told me that in the beginning, yes, they were told that there were 7, but then they reduced it to 5. And that's where she was left at, that there were 5. And now you guys are telling me that there are 7. But I was taught that there are only 5. So I'm not crazy, that was just general knowledge here in the country. Like, everyone was taught that there are 5 continents. And now it turns out that there are 7. Because they never told us Alaska was a continent, even though it makes sense. I mean Alaska. Antarctica. They never told us that Antarctica was a continent, even though it makes sense that it is a continent. They never taught us that. It was just America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Oceania. There is no total consensus on the number of continents, depends on what definition you use. Well, I was taught that by regions it's just 5, it's just America, which encompasses the whole thing. Because then, if you tell me, oh, there's 7, but then what happened to Central America? You can't tell me that, oh, it's the same thing, because it's not part of North America. If it were part of North America, then it would have to be part of the North American Treaty that we have amongst the 3 countries, which it's not, but it's also not considered part of South America. So what happens to those in the middle then? You know? Like, you could tell me, oh, they're islands, but they're not really because they're connected. So then what happens to Central America? Yeah, Guatemala is part of Central America. It's not a part of South America. If you go ask, they're part of Central America. They're not South Americans. I mean, technically they're their own thing. And then yeah, I guess it makes sense that there are 5 big land masses, but then wouldn't Antarctica be the 6th one? So they should be 6 in any case. I don't know. But to me, it was taught in school that there were only 5. And now you guys are telling me that apparently South America is supposed to be like another different one. Which I refuse to believe. Yeah, Honduras, Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, Belize, Guatemala. I think I put the list everywhere. In the of each one in the server. Hold on. Hold on. Central America. Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. Those are Central America. You might be like, oh, but they're not that many, but there's still a division. I can't tell you how South Americans view it because I've never been to South America. But at least here where I live, in this country, it's always been divided as that. And if you look it up, then you find, even in English, you find that there's Central America and that as though that portion of countries is part of it. And then South America, it's its own different thing. From Venezuela and Colombia all the way downwards. Yeah, this should technically be 4 then. But I don't know why we divide them in 5. Or like, where's Antarctica then? Well, maybe in Europe it makes more sense because the cultures change drastically amongst each other. I could maybe see it like that. But again, then we're Central America and all of that. I don't see it right to just put it like, oh, it's just part of South America. Because it's supposed to be its own thing. I don't know. People are weird. I'll just think about Pangea. Anyway, so yeah, you take a 2-hour drive and you're in another country with another language and a completely different culture. Pangea is the best continent. Indeed. Yeah, like Europe is always been weird to me in that sense that it's very fascinating how close you are to each other, and yet it's very like the cultural shift is so big. Because here you have to actually, like, for example, take a plane. Unless you live in the northern states, it's easier to just cross in a way of like you can drive less and it takes less time to get there. But I do have to take a plane because of how far away it is. I would need to ask Soru. I'm gonna ask Soru, because Soru is Colombian. And like, for example, I've never been to Europe, so for me, Europe is a foreign concept. Same thing with Asia. And any other continent, really. Atlantis is the best. Atlantis was it a continent? No, that was just a city, right? Supposedly, if it existed. Anyway, back to the topic. Wait, it's already been 3 hours? Oh man. Real quick. No, I think I actually talked about what I... Yeah, about the 2-year high school, because you were confused by that. Ha, but you were confused by how I studied 2 years instead of 3. Or well, how your high school is like 4 to 6 years, but here is 3, the normal. If you stayed 4 years, then it's usually because you failed the subject or various subjects and you had to stay another year. But here's 3 years, and I studied 2 because that was an option. And so by the time, like, that same year I turned 17, but by the time I got out of high school, when I graduated high school, I was still 16. Yippee! I can't do that voice right now. Dang it. Like, yippee! Something like that. It's like a little too high right now for me. I need to warm up my voice. We go on trips to Spain every summer vacation. By car takes about 14 hours and you pass through 5 countries. Huh. Well, in order for me to get to some city in Texas, by like on land, I would have to take a bus, and that bus takes 17 hours. So... And I only crossed 1 country. And then from Texas to Florida is about 16 hours on the car. You can leave school when you have 18 years in Poland. I mean, when you get out of high school, you either just start uni or just try to find a job without studying uni. You would have been ready for college. Yeah. If I had, like, what I did was that I took a gap year where I figured out what I wanted to do, because my career path ended up not being the way I wanted. So I took a gap year where I tried to figure out what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, because the school I wanted to go. So I always wanted to get into music school, basically. I was going to study singing because that's a career in Mexico City. In a specific school, multiple I think, but they actually have like a degree for it, to be a professional singer in a specific school in Mexico City. But it ended up being not what I expected, when I actually look at the program, it's basically just training, or mostly training for you to be like an operatic singer, which I like opera. I did get trained in a similar style of singing and in a similar technique, but I don't want to be an opera singer. So, and that degree lasts like 7 years. So about the same, almost the same as a medical degree. Like for you to be a doctor. So, so I ended up like deciding, hey, I don't want to go there because I don't want to study that. Like, I don't want to be a opera singer, so it doesn't make sense for me to spend 7 years of my life doing that if it's not what I want. So I started looking for other schools and stuff, but they were not. My parents were still very iffy about me having to move to another city in order to study. So they were like, hey, if you can find something here, then we'd rather you study here, because I was still pretty young. And I was like, okay. So I found a music school here that ended up being not very good. And so I studied for a year there. And then even my parents saw that the school wasn't very good, and I wasn't really liking it all that much either. I was studying to be a composer. I was studying composition. And they were like, hey, there are these other options where you can study online if you want. We don't care about what you study, just as long as you actually get a degree out. Like, you finish a degree and get the paper. Just as a safety net, at least. And I was like, okay. And so I chose one of those. I made the exam. I passed. The panini hit. And then here I am. About to finish. Ooh. Like, I like opera, but it's just not the type of singing that I want to do. I like watching it a lot. But it was just not the type of the style that I wanted to do for a living, I guess. Why did you call it that? Because a lot of people called it that. Remember when there was a time where you couldn't say like, oh, the pandemic, oh, COVID on YouTube, because YouTube would be like, no, and take away monetization? Not like I have a problem with that, because a lot of my things are not able to be monetized anyway, and I need to reach like the 1K subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours in order to like get that. But there was a time where YouTube didn't like you saying the word, so people started calling it the panini. I don't know, YouTube sometimes is weird with its policies and what you can or can't say, but there was a time, and so it stuck with me, and I call it the panini, but it's the pandemic when COVID hit. So yeah. Degrees can be important, true. Although, if it had been up to me, I probably wouldn't have studied uni at all. I would have just rather dedicated all my time to actually start making my path, which is starting to improve now. So yeah. You were, oh my god, you're a baby. Wait, how old were you during the panini? You were like 13, weren't you? Oh my god. Makes so much sense, but at the same time, oh god, I feel old. Is uni also as expensive for you as Connor? Not really. Depends really. How expensive it can get depends on whether you study at a public or at a private school. If you study at a private school, then yeah, you pay a kind of like a membership in a way, because you pay monthly, and it can get up pretty high. Like the cost is pretty high in some schools. Like for example, Ibra studies at a private one. He told me one day, I don't remember the number anymore, but he told me how much he pays every month for that school, and I was like, oh god, that is a lot of money. But if you study at a public school, you usually don't pay. You pay once a year a fee, but you at least in the one that I'm in, you get to choose the amount you want to pay, as long as it's over a certain quantity. But yeah. So in my case, I didn't have to go into debt to go to uni. I had YouTube, I just slept all day. Surprisingly, during the pandemic, it was part of the busiest sections of my life, I feel like. So yeah. But yeah. School is hard. I hate school. I'm looking forward to finally getting out of college and try to build my own path properly this time. But yeah. Oh, we're going through the whole alphabet, nice. E, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, N, M, O, N, P, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, U, V. Oh man. Anyway. I think that's enough yapping for today. Connor, you're right. Because he put all caps. Man. Oh no, you both put L. Never mind. On Tuesday. Oh, good luck with that. I hope it's a good job. And that you like it. And are happy with it. And make stable money. Yeah, you're getting back on track for your life. Yeah. Well, I'm trying at least. I'm just trying my best at this point. Like, it's going good. I'm not complaining. It's just been hard. I've been dedicating 5 years of my life on the side to this. It dawned on me the other day. And I was like, wow. What if I make it full time? Who was first in the chat? You appear first. Maybe L. Yeah, full time. Why not? Yeah, Yukon. I have a lot of projects I would like to work on, but again, I barely have the time. So it would be nice if I could actually work on those and just make that my work. I don't know. But anyway, with that... Well, yeah, I'm old. I'm ancient. Hold on, let me just... Dogo asked to be let in again. I'm not over 30, what the heck? I already told you guys how old I am. If you don't remember, then that's your own business. Yes, I did. Don't you remember the meme pantry scent? Alright, Con. Tell them. Pantry sends tons of memes. There was a specific one that talked about you being old. If you remember Shrek, you're old. No, I'm not 26. What? That's Hannah. Wait, yeah, is it Hannah? Yeah, Hannah is 26. Guys, how old is Shrek? I want you to tell me how old is Shrek. Like the movie. Exactly. I mean, I'm not 23 yet. I'm 22. I'm turning 23 in August. Came out in 2001. Exactly. The same year I came out of the womb. I'm 22. About to turn 23. Yeah, I'm about to turn 23 in August. You're telling 20 years is a kid. Because it is! There's still a huge gap. I call, like, Ibra is around your age, Con. And I still call him a baby. And he calls me ma'am. For the lore is not accurate, by the way. It's not a huge age gap. I mean, my best friend is 4 years older than me. To me, it is a pretty big age gap. The lore age is still on there. If it's not there, it's on the PowerPoint. The lore age is 2081 years old. Not 5,000. I'm not that ancient. Because when you said I wasn't 23 yet. And the point was to gaslight you into thinking I was way older. That was the point anyway. I can lend you guys a PowerPoint if you want, by the way. I just need to look for the file. If you have a sibling, you can be in the primary school at the same time. Well, guess what, Enki? I don't have that thing you call a sibling. I don't know what those are. I have a dog. And that's it. I didn't gaslight you, I just avoided the question. And you thought something else, and I was like, yeah. Okay, I guess it does count as gaslighting. Never mind. 2 years younger. Baby. 21. Babies. All of you babies. You said my math was way off when I was dead on. I think I said that when you said like I was over 30 or something. I don't remember. You said multiple ages and then you were close and I was like, I don't know. Technically, but because you have 22 and I'm 20. Still baby. I remember when I like the year I turned 19 was the year of the Panini, and I don't remember that year at all. So that's why like the huge jump for me between 18 and 20 is like, whoa. Because that year I never felt like I was 19. I don't know what 19 feels like. I was just suddenly on my second decade and I was like, whoa. And then as soon as I turned 20, I got stung by a bee for the first time. Oh yeah, you're way off with Ralu. Like, I won't tell you her age because she keeps it a mystery, but you're way off with her. Oh god, 2004. Ugh. That's not real. That's not real. No one was born after 2001 in my head. Yeah, I always say I'm an old lady because I am. I was born there. Because in my head it doesn't register that someone was born in 2004. No, 2009 kids don't exist. Because if we go by that logic, then I have cousins that were born in like 2016 and I'm like, ugh. That's not true. That isn't the year anyone was born in. Everyone keeps telling me that the 20s are the best years of your life. I'm not seeing it. I think I was at the peak of my life when I was 15 and then it all went downhill from there. Nobody's born that late. Exactly. Like in my brain is like, no. No. What? This is my peak? I have already given up on life. I mean, yeah, Hannah tells me all the time that I'm a baby. Don't listen to, like, do as I say, not as I do. Confused. Your peak years might be ahead of you, or they might be here. You don't know. You might have a great light ahead of yourself. It's just me and my life circumstances. It's just my life experience. I don't know why people tell you in your 20s you're at the peak of your life, or like it's the best years of your life, because I'm not seeing it so far. I just see stress and unstable jobs, and everything is too expensive, and yeah. And depression, but that's a whole different kind of worms. So, like, for me, I lived my best year when I was 15. Things only get started getting for me in late 20s. See? I think the actual peak might be at your 30s. Because it's the age when people just stop caring about what society says, and they just start living life and doing their own thing. So maybe 30s is actually 2017. No, that was 2016. That was 2016. That was the peak of my life. Yeah, no, it was right before that. It was like right before that, right before I got enslaved. After that, it just went downhill. Yeah. My math pick is not cool. Yeah. No, I was miserable in high school, like at the end of it. But at the same time, not entirely, because I had friends. I had really good friends that shared the burden alongside me because we were all in the same boat. But high school just gave me crippling anxiety, and then after that, I just went into espresso depresso, and then now I have other types of worries like money and what is gonna be of my life. So a war in YouTube comments. Where? Where? I will say, I miss the time where I watched 10 animes per week. That was also peak life. Right now I'm in the it's starting to look up better era, I guess. Oh no, Con, that's why you don't do that. When does the depresso stop? When you get therapy, I think. And you start introspecting and working on yourself. Go to therapy. If you have trauma, go to therapy. There are cheaper. I found a cheaper therapy. That doesn't diminish the value of it. It's just more accessible. So something like that. Or at least self-help books can be an alternative. Also, I'm still made that Maymeth was there on the July right to my face. I kind of remember now. Like, you were right, but I told you that you didn't know how much time I spent in... Like, how long ago had been my gap year and all of that. And then that's when you weren't like, oh, so you could be over 30. And I was like, okay, no, I'm not over 30, but... I remember now. I remember now. Anyway, things get better. It's getting better for me now. So, eventually. Just like for me, the early 20s were like weird. But it also has to do with the fact that we were all in a pandemic in very like weird times of our life, so have to watch speeches from the big bad German guy. What? I mean, I once did a whole research on his entire life. Did you know that he wanted to be an artist? But got rejected? Ah, what the world would have been. But yeah. So anyway, guys, it's been almost 3.5 hours. I really need to cut it. You mean the most famous Austrian painting? I really need to cut it here because I need to do some stuff for my social service. Oh my god. I just read what you're saying. But yeah, so that's the end of the stream week for me. I won't see you until either Monday or Tuesday. I'm still figuring that out. There might be a cover this week after all, So look, keep your eyes open for that. On Saturday probably. So, but yeah, I do have to go because also it's almost lunchtime. So I really need to go eat. But yeah. So to the next chatting. I'll try to do a just chatting stream next week as well if I can. Because there's also something else that I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna announce it right now, but I'm gonna announce it next week. Regarding streaming. No, it's nothing serious, by the way, so you guys don't get like scared or anything or panic. Don't panic. It's nothing serious. It's just something, a change in my schedule that's gonna happen, but I'm not gonna announce it yet. I'm gonna tell you next week. So, I'm gonna try to do a just chatting stream next week as well, so we can have like a little bit like this. It's not the Friday announcement. That's not gonna come out for a very, very, very long time, my guy. But yeah. I'm not trying to leave. Anyway, I just said that I want to do this full time. My gosh. Oh my god. Anyway. So, with that, thank you so much for coming. Thanks so much for being here and giving me... I'm going to graduate only college, not VTubing. Shush. Anyway, with that, thank you so much for coming. Thanks so much for being here and giving me a couple of your hours. I hope you had fun. And that the Espresso Depresso talk didn't Espresso depress you. Life is great with the little things. Trust me. And with that, I will see you probably on Saturday with a new cover and next week with more streams. Alright? Don't panic. I'm not going anywhere. Anyway. Bye! And the neighbors are still at it. Great. Only Omori next week. 3 days. If I stream an extra day next week, then it's gonna be something else. Either Lake of Voices or just chatting. We'll just see. Which is basically the same thing at this point. Because we always derail on Lake of Voices, but it's whatever. New people on Discord, people who have not joined the Discord server, join the Discord server. It's fun. We are chaotic and sometimes very chill. And by joining, it is you automatically offer your kneecaps to me for my collection. So yeah. Anyway, for bot watchers, hi. I hope you made it this far. If you made it this far, then join the Discord server. It's linked in the description or in my about section on the channel. Anyway, bye guys. I'll see you on the Discord server and on Saturday with a new cover. Bye.